Hello YouTube. This week I've got the keys to a 2017 Mazda CX-5 in GT trim. Let's take a look. 2017 Mazda CX-5. This is the GT trim, as I said, and the Mazda is one of the nicest looking, at least my opinion, the nicest looking compact SUVs on the market today. Styling is really cool. Kind of aggressive front end. Some people might not like that big grille in the front. I think it's okay. It's funny because from the side it still kind of looks, they all look the same or similar, but there's just something about this one. It's just that little bit extra, maybe the little bit of chrome trim on there, and the aggressive headlights and the angled tail lights make it look a little bit better. This one is the GT trim, 38,000, I think 165 Canadian, with the freight and PDI included. So that's everything included. Then you got to add tax onto that, of course. And it has a ton of features. We'll show you on the inside. The white leather is pretty striking. And it has the technology package as well, which adds things like the radar cruise control with stop and go, which is pretty cool, and lane departure warning and collision alert and those types of things. So we'll pop the trunk here. Pretty well sized. I've got a video for the Honda CR-V and the Ford Escape, and this is a little bit bigger than the Escape, a little bit smaller than the CR-V in terms of size. No tonneau cover included. I think you have to buy that extra, that kind of bothers me a bit, especially when you're paying almost 40 grand. This one does have a nice rubber mat to keep your carpets clean. And you've got your spare tire underneath there. And you've got these switches to flip the seats down. So that flips the middle one down. So it's 40-40-20 is what they call this, not 60-40. And you got that one, and then you've got one over here to flip the other. And you can also do it, right from there if you want. So that's really convenient whenever you're back here and you just need to get something long and you just flip that down. That's really convenient. And as you can see from here, the white leather is pretty striking. But we'll go around the side and take a look at that. And of course, power close trunk as well. So on the side here, you see you do have it's not exactly flat floor, but it's almost flat, and it folds almost flat down. And they're very light and easy to flip and fold, so there's no stress there. You've got a cup holder in here and another storage bin as well with some USBs, so a 2.1 amp USB, so that'll charge the bigger devices today like iPads and Android phones and stuff like that. And you've got 3-position heated seats in the armrest too, which is a cool place. Usually it's on the door or down here, and it's right in the armrest here, and you've got some cup holders. And as you saw, this also flips down to give you just a pass through. And it is a nice perforated leather, and it looks really, really sharp. Once you get inside, there's quite a bit of legroom. It's pretty darn good. These seats are sculpted out for even more legroom if you're really tall. I mean, you'd have to be really leaning back. A couple of mat pockets, one on each side. Then you do have heat vents. No climate control back here, but you do have some vents, so you can open and close that as you desire. And your power windows. And you've got this nice trim here, and this is all kind of squishy, soft touch, nice leather trim. I think Mazda's done an excellent job on the interiors here. And you've got a sunroof, and then I'll give you that wide angle view of the front, and then we'll move along to the front. Up front, just to give you a nice view of these seats again, I really do like them. And you've also got this, I won't be able to pick this up once I'm sitting inside, you've got 2-position memory seats here for the driver. And then over here you've got your trunk release, traction control, and lane departure setting, and your hood and gas release. When you press the start button, you're greeted with a Mazda logo. And this is an interesting screen. You've got, I just missed it, but as it'll come up, you'll see here. So you've got this this system here, and it's touch screen. And you can, there's your audio, go home, and navigation. And it's got some apps over here, applications, which it's really HD radio, traffic map, fuel economy, and vehicle status. So, you view your fuel economy over time. But also down here, you've got a dial with the home button, nav, music, and your volume. Your volume controls down here. And then you've got this dial which pushes and moves around left and right to control that system. Now, when you're driving, the touchscreen doesn't work, which is interesting. I don't think there's any other systems that work like that. That's either one or the other. So see, I can adjust this system with the dial. And so while you're driving, you can't, if you touch this, it does nothing when you're driving, as soon as you start moving. So you have to use this control down at the bottom here. And, it works really well. The touchscreen is pretty easy to reach for me. So I always reach for the touchscreen and it doesn't work, and then I remember, I've got to use this. But I think you get used to it over time anyways. And the system is responsive. As you can see, it's pretty quick. It takes a little bit to boot up. But once it's up, you can zoom in into your maps and move around, and it's pretty quick. So it does work well. And the voice system works pretty well as well, and it will read your text messages to you if you get text messages. I don't know why. So this is one problem I've been having, and I've never had this problem with any other car. I don't know if it's my phone this week is messed up or what. I tried rebooting it, but it connects to my phone and then it loses connection, and then it connects to my phone and loses connection. So I'm not sure if it's the car or my phone. Anyways. Also down here, you've got auto hold and electronic parking brake. Make sure I get this in the camera here. And sport switch here. So you've got sport and then you've got normal modes. And when you flip that, you'll see it switch right here, sport. So there's only 2 settings. Over here in this little cubby, you've got a 12-volt power. And you've got heated steering wheel and 3-position or 3-setting heated seats. You got your cup holders back here, and in your armrest, you've got a little storage bin and some more storage. Another 12-volt, a couple USB ports, auxiliary port, and an SD card slot as well. This does have a head-up display. I'm hoping the camera can pick it up. It usually does. So you've got a head-up display there, and it's full color. And when you come up to a stop sign, or it'll show stop sign, it's pretty cool. It shows a little stop sign there. It'll show you. It's got sign recognition, so it shows the stop signs. It'll show the speeds as you're driving along. It'll show you the speed of that road, like 80 kilometers an hour, 100 kilometers an hour, 60 kilometers an hour on there. It's not perfectly accurate. I think it uses combinations of the GPS for that, for the speeds. I'm not sure if it reads the signs for that. It definitely reads the signs for yields and stop signs and that. It has the collision avoidance as well, and it'll come up brake like really big up there, red, and it kind of comes up at you. It's pretty cool. And it also shows you your blind spot indication in there, which it shows you on the mirrors. So you'll see a light on the mirror, which will go yellow or orange. But if you just keep your head up, you'll actually see on either side, it'll show you if there's somebody in that blind spot. Down on the gauge cluster here, you've got your trip over on the right and your fuel. This gauge is it works okay. It's digital, and it kind of, the colors. This is full right now, so that it's all one color. It's kind of grayed out, but it'll go kind of blacker and the needle kind of moves over. It's not super easy to see, but it's okay. It works well enough. You've got your tach over on the left and your gear indicator. So drive, and then if you push this over, you can manually shift that. It'll only go into 2 when I'm stopped, but you can manually shift that. And of course your speedometer dead center. And over on the right here, you can control that with this info button here. So you hit info, and then it kind of cycles through these different settings, and for your radar cruise and your trip and that. So there's that, and you got your volume control here, and your phone, Bluetooth control, and then you've got your cruise control, which is really easy to use. Some of them with the radar cruise, you've got radar, and that's your only choice. Some of them you can turn it off through some settings. Some of them you hold the button. This one's really simple. You hit mode, Mazda radar cruise control deactivated, and you hit mode, and it'll go into normal mode. Or you have the radar mode. So you can see, hopefully, you can see this. It switches between the 2 modes. The little car shows that it's radar cruise, and then without the little car, no, it's just regular cruise control. And this button is your cancel and your off, and then you've got your set and up and down to set your speed, and then you've got your distance control here. The one thing I don't like is the same thing with the info button and the resume. You've got to kind of push this button in, and for the info as well, and then sometimes you end up kind of pressing the up down on the info button, which then changes your radio station. Or here it's hard, and it's not hard, it's just you got to be more precise rather than just smacking a button while you're driving. It's got automatic wipers and a rear wiper and intermittent and all that, and automatic headlights. It also has automatic bright control, which is the brights will go on and off automatically, which I really like. And I think that's it for the interior. Oh, sorry, I guess we've got the 4-way hazards, and then we'll look up top here, and we've got a sunglasses holder that I did not mention yet, and of course the sunroof, which I did mention. I guess we'll look at these sun visors. It does have the pull out on there, and they swing around. They don't pull out besides that, but has that, and it has a mirror with a light, which is kind of nice to have. And that is it for the interior. I did mention in the back, this is kind of all soft, squishy stuff. So it is a really, really nice interior, especially for the class. So let's take it for a drive. So I didn't mention the engine. This is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder naturally aspirated engine. It's 187 horsepower, 185 pound-feet of torque, 6-speed automatic transmission, all-wheel drive on this one. And it's funny because when I first picked up this vehicle, I was like, man, is it ever slow. I was really kind of annoyed at the throttle response. It was just brutally slow. So I switched into sport mode, which then gives you, quick tip in, fast throttle response, quicker shifts, and it holds the revs longer. And I was like, okay, well, I have to drive in a sport mode to feel confident with it in traffic. But then it holds the gears, and I'm going to get horrible fuel economy. Then I stopped doing that after a couple days, or maybe a day of driving like that, and I put it back into normal mode, and it seems fine now. So I don't know if the transmission, the previous person driving it was driving it very gently, and I was driving it more aggressively, and the computer kind of adjusted to my driving, which is possible, because now it seems fine. I have no qualms with the power. It's not a rocket. It's equivalent to the Honda, which is 195 horsepower, I think, and this is 187. So you're within a few horsepower of each other. The Honda felt a little bit slower because of the CVT transmission, but this feels fine now, so I'm okay with that. It's quiet enough. It's, again, right there with the class. The Honda CR-V was a little bit noisier, I think, than this. The Ford Escape I had was probably a little bit quieter, or about the same. There's very little wind noise, almost zero tire noise on this thing. Actually, maybe this is quieter than the Escape. It's hard to tell without driving them like right beside each other, but it is pretty good. The suspension, as Mazda has always done, is top notch. You've got a nice, it's got a nice rebound. It doesn't jar you at all, even over harsh bumps. It's really nice and smooth. Yet it feels super sporty and really hunkered down. And you can, I've gone over a couple of off ramps at, let's just say, speeds I shouldn't be going, and I was very impressed at the grip level of this thing. Just try the lane departure here. Now we move over to the left here, and you'll hear it. Hopefully the mic picks that up, and I should work over on the right as well. There we go. Even with no line, it actually works, and hopefully the camera picked up what it showed on the screen there. So what happens is it kind of gives this deep buzzing tone on the speaker on the side that you've gone over the line, kind of wake you up a little bit. It doesn't seem to move the steering wheel or shake the steering wheel. It doesn't do anything like that. It just kind of buzzes the speakers. Hopefully this picks it up. I'll try to show the stop sign. See that stop sign coming up, and on the head-up display it was showing the speed right now only. And as we get closer, it should show that stop sign there. It comes up now a little bit late, but there's the stop sign on the display. There you have it. That's the 2017 Mazda CX-5 GT. And, I've been comparing it kind of to the Ford Escape and the Honda CR-V. And that's just because I had those vehicles, just a few weeks ago, kind of back to back. And I do have a comparison video, which I'll post someplace. Comparison as well as the two of them individually. And they're all about the same price. This one, I think, is a little bit cheaper. It's a couple of grand. It's definitely a couple of grand cheaper than the Ford. And I believe about $1,000 or so cheaper than the Honda. And I really think there's no question here. I would pick this Mazda over those two vehicles. The Mazda is just beautiful inside. I think it rides better. Power delivery is pretty good now that I've kind of gotten used to it. Handle's awesome, pretty quiet, and cargo room is sufficient, I think, for this class. I think really Mazda's got a winner here, and I'm hoping the U.S. market is big for them, and Mazda doesn't sell that great in the U.S. They do in Canada, but I think this CX-5 really is a winner. Thanks for watching my channel, and please subscribe.